What'd you get?
Didn't you pick them?
I pulled them at random.
Fine.
But in that case,
You were always someone else. I'll be using this. A nearby creature is permanently transformed into a rat, a swan, a cat, or a raven, whichever is your heart is associated with. If they're slain while in their new form, you die as well. They can still speak, but do not have abilities or skills. So they can be restored only by effects that undo curses or serious physical afflictions. Don't get why I would ever want to do that. And safety in the mother's arms, you envelop a creature in the love of its own mother. They gain 2 bene in physicality. That's good.
he protect.
Yeah, but like, why would I transform any other creature into another creature to risk my death?
Maybe you would want to transform us into something that would fit in your pocket, so you could escape from wherever it is with us in your pocket.
Possibly. We'll see. The rest is stay the same, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you want to know what I have?
Go
Oh,
on.
what's going around? So I've got a glimmer hides in the shadows. You make one magical object, manifestation, spell, or effect register as non-magical to those with the ability to sense, see, or otherwise detect such things. Or drawn to the light and murdered there. A powerful beacon-like light appears above your head. All faraway beings that can see it move close to you at full speed, and then when they are close, they stand perfectly still for 1 round, except to say, "The beauty of the light is all that matters. Even my life does not matter." While they stand still, any physical attack against them succeeds and gains a +3 bonus to damage. Even creatures that do not normally speak or do not speak your language will say what they are compelled to say.
OP much. I got the revealing gaze of God. A single wall, floor, or ceiling becomes permanently transparent. The area affected must fit into a medium area.
What's a medium area? Slightly bigger than a fridge, but smaller than a
We
big
do not
fridge.
make the wall between the bar and the kitchen of the rows transparent, because I don't actually want to see what happens in that kitchen.
Okay, picking that.
A small area is a room about this size. A medium area is maybe a bit bigger than St. Matt's.
Right.
So big area.
So quite
But
big.
medium area is a big area, actually. Okay.
A large area would be the
City.
inside. No.
Home Park.
Maybe not quite a home park. Maybe.
Let's be pleased that they've decided it's a big area.
Yeah, probably football. Yeah, actually, probably home park. Yeah. So session number 50.
Ooh.
I'm actually recording some new theme music for us.
Because it's that time that we
Yeah.
need to change.
Da-na-na-na.
I think you should do that on session 53, because that would have 52.
Oh, okay.
It's up to you. You're just excited to
I'm really excited to record some new music.
Yes.
So,
Do you want some crunchy riffage? I could DI my guitar. Let's add as much reverb as humanly possible.
the whole thing about it is that I've got contact mic. Sorry. So I've got this box called the Jomox T Resonator, which is a digital. It will do chorus, it will do flanger, it will do waveguide, it will do reverb, but it does delay as well. But it's 2 channels and so it works in stereo. So you put something into channel 1, that goes through the delay circuit, then there's a filter, and then you can feed the filter back into itself and you can feed the delay back into itself. And you can inject from channel 1 into channel 2 and channel 2 back into channel 1 as well. So they can kind of bounce off each other. So if you have like one of them not used but feeding back on itself quite high, the other one not really feeding back, but you put all of the audio into that one, you still get some feedback off it. Going into that, I've got my module called the Mutable Ears, which is a contact mic. Turn the gain all the way up on that, and then when I get any sound coming out of the speakers, considering I've got a fairly big sub speaker just underneath it, it causes the case to rumble. The contact mic then picks up on, sticks that into the feedback loop.
somewhere there is an Andy who has just gone, oh.
He has a child now, doesn't he? Must have.
Just 2. Yeah, for some reason they let him breed. What I love about
Yeah,
him.
because Thingy was pregnant for my birthday when we were all fancy dressed up. Yeah, and that's Reuben. And then I can't remember what the little girl's called. She's got a lovely name, but I can't remember it.
We run down of last week, or the last session rather.
So we had a little recap at the beginning of the session. Caliban was angry that we knew of Fentiman Glaive, and we found out that Caliban had had a baby, and from that she's got this kind of desire to protect. Caliban got angry and she went to many of her old haunts, but things weren't the same. Eliana went to Stobold's. And Stobold and Eliana kind of had a chat, and Stobold told Eliana that if Caliban really loves Eliana, then she will be back. And she was back, and true love's embrace. Then we jumped back to kind of like the present time. Stobold visits Fred on his allotment and asks about Agamemnon Butler, who's the mind mage.
Mm-hmm.
And Fred tells Stobold that he's not cheap. They then talk about Eliana, and Fred wants Stobold to bring Eliana to their next Weaver meeting. And we kind of decide to put her to the test to see if she can do different types of magic. So back at the Rose, I try and get her to like summon just like a little sort of like soot spray, and she summons all of the dust in the pub, which was very, very angry at being summoned. And we therefore discovered that Hansy Dave is not doing the sweeping. And Eliana's response to we drew the Messiah card, so obviously not magic. And Eliana responds with, I do this because I am. Then Hawk tries to get her to make some cough drops, and she makes a Miracle Max style miracle pill, which is essentially a Phoenix down. And that is where we ended for the day.
It was the other way round. She made the Nenorion stone.
She made what I've been doing, refer to researching for flipping like ever. Like that.
And then she did the I am right at the end, because that's what I.
I've got it the wrong way around in here then.
She read 4 threads together at the same time.
Oh no, she said it at the end of both times. So, and then it was going to be your turn to put her to the test, I think.
No, she did, and she pulled the weave and she weaved 4 threads together
Oh,
at the same time.
Write that bit down. My notes are not perfect. Yeah, that's why everybody should be making notes, because if I miss something, then somebody else will pick it up.
No.
I don't want all this responsibility. It is a terrible power
I
that
don't
have.
do notes. Never have. Because I can't.
Because I could just turn around and go, well, last week it determined that I always roll at plus 15 because I've got the magic hat of awesome sauce, and you can't gainsay me.
Of course, the other way to remember is for me to actually sit and watch the videos again.
But then I have to listen to my own voice.
Yeah.
May I have a pencil?
Yes, there are pencil in the
Middle drawer.
middle drawer.
Middle drawer.
So the question is do you want to pick up exactly where we left off, or?
I think we've established that Eliana is a bit of Uber mensch.
She's not taxi.
I don't think we need to test this theory. I think we've figured out she can do everything.
But now what do we do with that?
Did they not ask for?
Do you want to take her to the next meeting of Weavers?
I think so.
When's the next meeting of Weavers?
They hold them monthly, I think, and it's going to be another week until the next one.
We can't get back in contact with what's his face at the moment.
Which is face.
Crystal Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe he needs to know.
It's just he can't.
Well, he goes to meeting with Weavers, but I just never knew because he had to mask him. But now we've met him. Have we met him? We've seen his face now, have we? Oh.
He lifted his mask up, and above his mouth was blank.
Oh yeah. Okay, maybe not then. So he doesn't go to the meetings, but Fred does, who's also of the
Anisoptera. The imprisoning ice,
Okay.
which is notions, which is Roland, and you just want to hold the sign up, just.
We should fashion just a clamp for that.
Yeah.
I think. Just,
I'll wear a hat.
It's fascinating.
Danger lies ahead. This card turn predicts a coming conflict with dire consequences. The person in question might be imprisoned or otherwise entrapped. Traps, of course, come in many forms: emotional, psychological, legal. A relationship can be a trap. To escape, one must either act on the warning given by the imprisoning ice or succeed in a bitter struggle.
why did you just stroke my arm while you were doing the eyebrow wiggle thing?
Not a clue.
That I think you
Well,
might
they were
have
saying about relationship traps.
Yeah, that I think you might have thought was seductive, but just made you look like you were having
Creepy.
some sort of
I could be creepy if I want to be creepy.
spasm. You frequently creepy without even trying.
Yeah, I know. That's a skill. Don't have many, but that is one.
So, imprisoning ice.
Yep.
So we've got a week until your next meeting.
I feel like I need to research whether this is possible or happened before. I've been in others.
Yeah. That big old library that we went to. We could go there.
So I've got a list of all of these kind of like dangling kind of plots. I've crossed two of them off.
Woo.
Because we've actually done them. One is the horn.
Mhm.
I have the horn.
You raised that element. You brought the horn up.
Ew.
You tooted it, if it was to say.
There's a real worry when I'm like the most sensible person in any given situation.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I am not sensible.
Right. We had to find the Horn of Eld, which has been found. The
But-
Horn of Eld is in our possession. So
Yeah, but that doesn't feel like it's like completed. That kind of feels like it's now ready for the next bit, wherever the next bit is.
But we have it.
but we've got it, so we don't need to
Right.
look for it. We've got it.
We've got
19.
Deed.
He's deed.
He never existed.
Caliburn / Eliana question mark. I think that's kind of still ongoing. Are they? What's happened with them?
Oh, I think that's kind of over, isn't it? Because they
They're
got together and
back.
They're
They're
they're-
back. They're
big
back
embrace,
together.
lovey love.
Yeah, but you know. We've eaten too much ice cream, haven't we?
Is it just let's see what we can do to make Dave go what? That seems to be the evening.
I think we're also at the same pace. This is the way it looks like when we're kissing.
It's like when
Yeah.
Kelly pulls like the most horrific face that she can, and then she goes, "You've never wanted me more."
Pretty much.
Fenceman Glaive. That's something that we
Yeah.
could kind of like investigate. The hate cysts thing we've kind of put on hold because we keep getting our asses kicked whenever we go to look at
I
them.
did not realise you were in this video.
We've got what I've simply dubbed Stobold's identity crisis. That's still very much ongoing, I think.
Yeah. You're right, Stobo's identity
Yeah.
crisis.
Something war. I'm guessing that's past war. It could be pot war, which was a really unsuccessful follow-up to Pot Noodle.
Yeah, really don't know.
We've got the Deathless Triumvirate, which I think is a bit more nebulous, hanging over the top, and Hawk's Memories, which is also sort of ongoing.
I kind of think
Which one of these things do we want to
that
sort of
when
unravel?
we've had this testing of Eliana and kind of gone, whoa there, Nelly.
Wind in your powers.
Because this is a little bit scary. And she's already said that she knows that she's got these big powers and she believes it's for something. What?
Back in the coconut. It's rolling around.
Rolling to shame, not rolling around.
It's kind of given us a bit more information about that, and I think it's given her some bit more information about that. I reckon if we go and see Agamemnon and talk to him about you, then he might help with her later on down the line. But it would be a better point to start with you, because she's the big, like, whatever's going on with you is not as secretive possible as what's going on with her.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And then when we do need to go and see him, it's not like we're some random strangers turning up. We're previous customers. Welcome.
Definitely.
Earn your money. So yeah, we can go and see Agamemnon Butler.
Well, we assume it's not a big thing, you know, because.
Well, if you can't remember it, how important can it be?
Well, I imagine it's less than
Yeah.
hey, you're a weaver and
You're a god.
Yeah, basically.
Ray, if someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Yeah. So I think we just have a kind of, we don't go, hey, here's test. Okay, bye. We have a bit of a chat with her first and just kind of go, okay.
We'll ruminate.
Obviously, because she's still only been here, what, 6 months?
If that.
So she may not know all the different things, and yeah. So this isn't normal. You shouldn't be able to do all these different things, and you shouldn't be able to do them with that much power. So that's fine, because clearly you've not been hurt, and we've not been hurt, and you had some degree of control over what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we can all agree that it probably needs looking into a bit more.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be stressed that if you do feel like she's getting out of control or feel stuff
Here's a
that
whistle.
isn't normally
If
what's
you feel
happening.
that things are getting really bad, blow the whistle. And we will run.
Tell us and let us know, because
That's not a bad idea. Could you make some kind of effectively magical whistle so it's... Oh no, we've got the dragonflies, haven't we?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Install a panic button on it.
unless we can try something to do on the network that will signal Elena's losing the plot, rather than it just being that general buzz that you get.
You want a personalised ringtone for if Eliana
Yeah,
starts
pretty
unraveling
much.
reality.
I don't really want to make a monitor that can monitor that, because that sounds quite scary in the first place. So,
We'll just leave it be.
well, let's leave it be. Please, darling, try not to be pushing the boundaries of time and space while we're away, okay?
That's going on the quote.
Sounds like my Saturday night game. Jeez. We're having to write our own flipping Dragon Age lore because we've gone well out of the timeline. It's like, oops.
Okay. Agamemnon Butler.
Are we going now or are we going to go in the morning?
When is it?
Where was it? Evening.
Yeah.
I thought.
Go in the mid-morning.
Good night's sleep.
Murdoch's girlfriend.
What's the write up for Dangerous Elixir? I can't remember us having that one.
We've had it.
Right then.
We've definitely had it.
Right.
Mysteries again. This card turn offers power but at a risk. Power can backfire. The Dangerous Elixir promises transformation, and that can be literal or figurative. It might transform a situation, changing the outcome of events, but there's still always that risk. Something's going to change, but will it be good or bad for a person in question? Do any of you have any kind of contact in high society? Or...
Yeah, I do, but I don't know that I do.
You've got
Possibly. 3 Knights in the name, I imagine.
you've
they've
got Whack
some-
Caplet and Spong.
That's true. We've got like
You've got super fancy, highly.
Jafar.
we've got super fancy lawyers of doom that that were my lawyers or are my lawyers, but
I don't think I
But I
actually
don't
wrote the descriptions of them. Yeah, Jafar.
Jafar? Okay. Can you make some kind of social roll, and whoever gets the best roll go down that route
How do we do a social?
roll a 10-sided dice and add whatever levels of skill that you might have when it comes to persuasion or hobnobbing with posh folks.
I have diplomacy,
people?
believe it or not.
Persuasion.
Reading people?
This is a bit more active.
Okay.
Got a 9.
So it's going to be like that, is it, guys?
Well, it's funny you.
I'm going to take a photograph of this because I've rolled a good roll.
Alongside mine.
5.
So Whack Caplet and Spot pointless. That all works.
You didn't really know them very well, actually, did you? You possibly did,
But
but
I
you can't
did,
remember.
But
you
I
did.
don't know that I know.
Yeah.
So how is Roland going to...
He doesn't really do hobnobbing per se. What he does kind of do is direct. So the see, I didn't meet the George, who was the reeve of the district, because that's when Roland was off on walkabout.
Mhm.
But I know of George, the reeve of the next district over. So I'm just going to walk right in and just go,
Hey!
we're looking for Agamemnon Butler. And I understand that you can put me in touch with him. Because the stupid monkey regent appreciates directness.
I don't remember, what voice did George have?
It's Hugh Laurie, because it's George
Oh,
from
bother! Oh, yes! Fantastic!
It stands like this!
Huzzah!
Hot potato. Sure. It's my favourite Blackadder. Because Blackadder has blood, so.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic! I say, you've brought that fine young lady back again. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
So, what is it? Oh, okay. You're back as well. What are these people? So, did you bring these two back, or did they bring you anew?
The latter.
A latte? I'll send for one. And he pulls on the cord, and his butler comes in with, yes,
Disdain
sir.
on his face.
Is it Baldric?
No, it is.
Oh,
It is.
okay.
It is going to be Edmund. Yes, sir. He goes, 3 lattes, please. 4 lattes. Make mine a banana one. Anybody want a banana latte? 4 banana lattes. Make it snappy. Put some crocodile juice in them as well. Yes, that would be fantastic. Off you go. And he kind of, the butler kind of bows, and then he kind of gives you all a look And then he gives the same look to the camera before he turns and...
I offer him my heartiest I can never say it. Contribulations. It's a common word. Round my way.
That's our baby.
And then the monkey kind of like swings over across his desk and he gestures with his feet for you to kind of pull up a couple of chairs. And there's these big, they're like those 60s big egg chairs, but the insides of them are just like super comfy, like squishy gel, almost like memory foam things. So you kind of sit down in it. It's like, okay, that's all right. It's taken a while to fit. That's feeling really good. Getting a little bit cloying now. Getting a little bit cloying now. Bad touch.
Show me on the teddy bear where the chair touched you.
And he sits you down and he says, "So, what can I do for you?"
I've already told you.
Did you? Did he? Oh, you'd think with ears like this I'd be able to hear what you were saying. Remind a chap, would you, chap? Chap. I like that.
Agamemnon Butler.
I can't say so. Ooh, no, hang on. I do believe I've had dealings with the chap. Most unusual means of locomotion. And he kind of climbs up out and then he scampers onto the top of his chair and then he pulls another one of the cords and then the butler kind of comes back in and he's got a tray with like banana lattes with little parasols and he kind of sets them down in the table and says, "You rang again, my lord?" And he goes, "Yes, Agamemnon Butler. Not you kind of butler, but butler as in a name, not a job, because you're just butler." And the butler goes, "Yes, sir, the memory specialist, sir." "That's it, the memory guy. I wonder why I couldn't remember him." "Ha ha! Most unusual. I shall have to ask him. Have we got his contact details, sir?" "Yes, that's the one." "We most certainly do, sir. Shall I retrieve them?" "Yes, please, would you? And an egg sandwich." "Yes. Anybody else want an egg sandwich?" "Oh, 4 egg sandwiches. That'd be amazing." "Yes, sir." And so the butler kind of heads off again. And then I don't know if you're going to try this banana latte, but it's like an iced banana latte.
It's coffee, so Roland will imbibe.
Same as Hawk.
He's still in coconut.
Intrigued by crocodile juice.
Yeah, it's like a green syrup that's swirled around the inside of the glass.
And there's like got popping candy in it when you attack it. Like a little mini crocodile biting your tongue. When we were first dating, Ross used to call me in a very sickly way, "Sweetie pot pie." And then we decided we must make this thing. And so it's a cherry pie with popping candy on top.
And custard.
And custard. That's good.
Okay, so yeah, the butler after a while kind of comes back in and George just is not stopping talking. He's just like going from one topic to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next.
Hawk is fading completely. Like she's like listening, but it's like.
And then the butler comes in and he's got contact information, and he kind of hands it over, and it's one of those ones where it's like in an envelope, but the envelope's a piece of vellum that's been folded over, and that's the letter that it's written on, so it's just been folded and then waxed sealed, and he says, "Mr. Butler's details."
I take it and I bow, tap my throat 3 times. Thank you kindly. Long days and pleasant nights.
And he kind of he stops and takes it back and he goes, something I've not heard for many years until you twice that number. And then he turns around and heads off.
Ally, Blackadder. I'm
In
over
3
in alley.
weeks' time, when you when we may be meeting again, and you go look at that note, you're like, what on earth?
Next
That
time you meet
man.
him, it totally has to be Mrs. Mugger's pie shop.
The next time I meet him, though, it won't be that Blackadder. It'll be like the one from Blackadder Goes Forth or something. Blackadder's
There'll always be a Mrs. Miggins. It's the name.
So what you do now? After spending a pleasant morning with, well,
I'm
a morning with curious.
How are we spelling that
I
morning?
never knew that hippos could swim backwards.
Did you know wombats poo is square? So you cube it. The only animal after does this. And penguin poop is pink.
Yeah, Isabel.
Isabel tells us that quite a bit.
Because my hair is the same colour.
Did you know that if you took all of your blood vessels and stretched them end to end, you'd die?
I don't know whether hippos can swim backwards. That was what the monkey told me.
I think I remember as well that human, if you took all of your skin and kind of unrolled it, it would be the size of a tennis court.
Football pitch. Oh, no, that's if you.
Skin.
No, that's the inside. That's
That's
the
the inside
lining
of your
of
lungs.
the inside of your lungs.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't think your skin is that big, or either of them. Just look at
Yeah, no, that's one of those things. That's, I might be misremembering them.
I think you was remembering that one.
Maybe it's your
Lungs
lungs
are
that are
good.
tennis court.
And then intestines is a big one as well. It's
Yeah.
masses. Folded up intestine. It is.
It is something like 4
The
football
skin does
pitches
much.
or something. The length of 4 football pitches or something crazy like that.
This is slightly less impressive, but it's still cool. There's about enough iron in the average human body to make one nail.
You can all have a point of hidden knowledge.
No, DNA in the single chromosome can stretch the moon back.
No, I can't see
That's
anymore.
right.
I'm all twisted like a pretzel. So
Pretzel.
Could you pass me my trays?
actually have my, looking that far to the side, I actually have my
Which one?
ice drink.
The tray underneath. Yeah. Thanks.
So what are you
I
doing?
heard you were about with your dodgy rubber and made worse.
So I don't want to open the envelope in the room because that might seem a little bit rude. And although I'm trying to be rude, it's not a deliberate rude. It's just Roland not being very.
You're just being Roland.
Pretty much.
Put it on the table.
Huh?
We haven't got space on the table.
So we will go outside. We will open the envelope, and where the vellum is opened up, Agamemnon's contact details. Where is he?
He resides in the blue.
Okay.
He is a memory mage. Where else would a memory mage have his?
That was where we had to go last time for when I had to have the
That was a dream world, wasn't it?
It's that's blue.
Whoop.
So
However, this
Let's not go by vote.
has a second smaller piece of vellum inside it with details of an incantation which you can cast,
Ooh, that gets us there.
which will get you all there fairly pronto.
And we've all seen the warden, so
You've all
seen-
been to the blue already.
we've
Yeah.
seen the warden, so that's
because that's where we had to go get what's his face and. Oh crap! Scottish dude.
Oh,
Harlequin.
Harlequin, yeah.
No, it wasn't Harlequin. It was
He was a Scottish dude.
the dude that lived and resided in my pocket for a while.
Dennis.
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 He's not Scottish.
Is that Scottish?
No.
I was blinded towards. I don't know anymore.
Harlequin is Scottish.
Yeah, but
And-
Dennis.
And so are around about 80% of the recurring background characters, just because everybody ends up with a Scottish accent.
For Dennis, that's where we first encountered
Dennis is a
him.
somewhat overexcitable David Lynch.
Yeah. Wasn't the blue where we had to where the
It's where you had to go to get the horn.
What's that? A bit of blue for the horn?
oh no where the glade was with the
The glade is in Fartown.
Just
Or just outside
Just
Fartown.
outside.
God, it's been a long time in the
No, it's just outside Sattering. Just outside the walls of
How
Sattering.
many years have we been playing this?
18 months.
There we go.
This is 9th of flip, yeah. 9th of August 2020. Prep work session 7th of September 2018.
almost 2 years. So I can't remember yesterday. So
I can only think of one other campaign I've ever played that's been this long.
that was Lord of the Rings.
That was the Lord of the Rings campaign, which technically hasn't stopped, it's just been on hiatus. With the Coda system, it is not a good rule set. So I hand the vellum to Hawk, because incantations aren't really my thing.
Yep, that's good.
I know incantations are everybody's thing, but
Plus we're going to the blue, which was where the makers are anyway.
No, somewhere else.
No.
That's
Silver.
Silver was the makers, wasn't it? Oh yeah, no, that's where.
Blue is the dream world.
Yeah, no, I'm not remembering it now. But no, because that's where we had to go last time when I had to have my brain looked at when the Thar took away. My brain's screwed.
Good in character work. Well done.
yes.
Yeah,
Do the incantation.
I'm doing it. I was just about to say, and
Abracadabra.
and swish my cake.
It's not just a mathematical formula.
I thought it was a Genesis
Wiggly,
song.
wiggly, my fingers are jiggly.
That's amazing.
There's this brilliant magician on holiday. It's called Emma's dad.
Oh yeah, and he lives near
He lives next door to Sparky.
Bucky. Yeah,
Does he?
yeah.
He's
He's really
fantastic.
good.
I don't know him very well, but I've known him for years and years and years and years. Laura knows him very well because they used to be neighbours down that way as well.
He did it at
Yeah,
the
very good.
blue thing, and then his
Blue
mum was
thing, yeah.
enraptured.
Yeah.
And she's like, he did some fake magic, but then he did some real magic.
There is a footnote on this incantation,
Oh,
and it says cast when you are in a safe and secure space.
are we in a safe and secure space?
We're
Well,
in the
you're
street.
currently out on the street at the moment.
So,
I think we
no.
should head back to the Rose.
No, do not cast it from inside the rose because all of the wards and stuff that we've
Yeah.
got in the rose.
The courtyard of the Rose.
Just a quiet out of the way spot somewhere. As Beano's won't let us use
I
their
reckon-
doors, let's do it in Beano's.
Super safe.
When we met Crystal Fire at the bench near the
Beige.
Beige.
Near the beige.
that was on the outsides of a little like city centre park, you know, like one of those
Yeah.
square block ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
That'll do.
let's head there
do.
because there's nothing there.
Exactly.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's go to the scene of the
It's
trial.
been kind of evacuated when the Beige was there, and people haven't really populated through back again. So
We can see how much the beige is
Oh
retreated.
yeah, the blast zone of Astraeus is.
no, it was Dennis did a blast zone of Beige.
Let's do the blast of the blue. I thought the beige was something.
No, that was
No,
Dennis.
that
Oh, was
Dennis.
Dennis?
That was Dennis as well.
Dennis!
Because you just described him as a crazy David Lynch. I've always imagined him as, you know, in Megamind.
Yeah, that's what
Space
he
Dad.
that's what he looks like. He looks like Space Dad,
Oh.
but with steampunk goggles, and his voice
Space Dad.
is meant to be a very excitable David Lynch.
I can't imagine David Lynch being excited about anything.
That's
I guess that's the point. He's definitely not excited about the new Dune.
No. He's pretty much officially retired now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he keeps saying that though, and then he keeps doing more Twin Peaks stuff.
I still haven't got around to watching season 3 of that. Not in its entirety. I watched the first episode and it was like, okay, this is being like weird for the sake of being weird.
Isn't that David
That
Lynch
was
though?
the Twin Peaks. Truly, that was. If you were in the moment watching it and you were like, oh, it's amazing, and now you've got nostalgia, I didn't have any of that. It looks exactly the same to me. It's the same level of weird.
yes, that's beyond.
Dune is possibly the least weird thing that David Lynch has done. So we're going to the edge of the beige.
Because beige is safe. Beige is neutral.
Okay.
Edge of the beige, which was
So-
a less successful Stevie Nicks song.
Okay, so you perform the incantation. Can you all roll a 10-sided dice, please?
Well, I
That's
can.
Ooh, 9.
I've got a 7.
Fantastic.
7's a good number.
So you sat.
That's a good number.
So what? You sat on the bench at the edge of the beige.
No, just behind. I'm imagining like in London where you've got like the square parks
Yes.
in the middle, and there was benches like around the outside.
Yeah.
But we're in the little park.
Okay.
We're in Albert Square.
You haven't seen this Dark Materials, have you?
Yes.
Do you know, like the little park that they keep going in, like where that the electric hub bit? I kind of imagine it like that.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you
Can
sit.
you see that?
So you sit down on one of the benches and cast this incantation, and then you realise just as you're kind of dropping off that what this incantation has done is projected your minds into the blue.
But our bodies are still there. Okay. But we are in a park.
And nothing bad has ever happened to anybody in the park.
We're just having a sunbathe,
Exactly.
having a snooze.
Exactly.
The
But we
fleeting
probably don't want to
moment.
stay here for.
Okay, I stood on my foot. Was that a deliberate standing on my foot? So as I go, Kelly stood on my foot. She'll realise in a second.
I
just
don't
don't
believe
realise
we've
it.
had this card before.
Ooh.
I love you're excited. I laughed today and I was like, oh, that's where Isabel gets this from.
Time moves inexorably forward. Sometimes it moves so quickly we lose track of it. We try to watch, we try to pay attention, and yet it's gone. Mercurially, it slips through our fingers. Time can move so rapidly, in fact, that we lose time. Look at the clock and it's 6:22. Look again, seemingly a moment later, and it's 8:05. They said that there once was an hour that came after midnight, but eventually it moved so quickly that it disappeared altogether. If that's true, perhaps it's the fate of all time, and the midnight hour will flit away next. Time is elusive and impossible to hold, no matter how hard you try. It's a force even the gods fear.
Yay.
Quick and decisive reaction is the advice suggested by this card. The implication that something is going to happen soon, and it's going to happen fast. One must be ready. This could be a threat or it could be a valuable opportunity. Either way, one has to react to it with agility, physical, mental, or both, or this elusive event will flitter away, leaving only its results behind to show that it ever happened.
Don't worry. Excuse me for a second. Pots of rosemary.
Can you pause what I said?
Yep.
Not worried.
That's really stupid.
I'm making my shorts. That's how what it is.
Told you, he will turn eventually. Oh, master.
Actions.
Got some grapes if you want to like peel.
Yeah. Peel them.
I'm on message and cool.
We have frozen grapes still, don't we?
Yeah.
Bro.
I'll get the frozen grapes. That's GURPS.
GURPS. Because it is GURPS.
GURPS. Act that.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Mark! I was reading a thing this morning, and it's like because the Romans had a recipe for concrete that just worked, and we couldn't replicate it for years and years and years. And it's because in the recipe it says water, and they meant seawater, and it's just one of those cultural assumptions that has just gone. You know, they obviously knew when they said water, everybody reading it knew that meant seawater, but we were trying to do it with fresh water and it wouldn't work and all that sort of stuff. And so they're saying, so, you know, what things like that would be, you know, in 1,000 years' time, people are going to think that we drank an awful lot of breast milk because all of the recipes just say milk. It doesn't say anywhere that it's cow's milk or anything, it just says milk, which is eggs. Somebody's trying to make scrambled eggs with fish roe, they're going to be really, really annoyed.
That's very true. Hey, Amy!
What's the thing that I saw? It's like every time I ask people if they want milk in their coffee, I'll say cow's milk, not breast milk.
What's the other thing on that? Oh, like in a lot of art, you know, Greco-Roman art, you know, the hairstyles were kind of impossible. And in the instructions it said about pinning. It was like, oh, pins don't work, whatever. And so, no, you stitch the hair into those places, and then all of a sudden these impossible hairstyles work. And so suddenly in like the mid to late 1800s, all of a sudden people started pinning and doing all this stuff with their hair because they had the instructions for centuries. Just people didn't bother to read it properly because of the cultural assumptions.
It's like, what was I reading somewhere? It's like, just because white people could figure it out doesn't mean that the Egyptians happen to be aliens.
Yeah, that was it. It's funny that whenever people are going on about how aliens had to come and help build stuff, nobody ever talks about the Colosseum, and aliens needed to come help build the Colosseum because that was all white folks. But when it's, you know, the pyramids or the Nazca aliens, suddenly aliens.
Is it a bit fuzzy?
I don't remember putting these ones in. I don't remember putting these
No, I
ones in.
did.
Oh, did you?
It's like having hard-boiled sweet but grapes. Frozen grapes is really nice. Yeah, it's not chewy. It's like an ice cube.
Yeah.
Nice.
Big bowl for Trisha. Little bowl speaking of which.
Try and drop.
Bit cold and sensitive, but delicious. Cold, sensitive, but delicious. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's all of them gone though, so we need to mention. That's all of them gone though, so we need to mention.
Yep.
You all got relatively good rolls on that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not dead. Don't get gang raped while we're asleep, okay?
That went dark.
Yep.
So you, every time you've travelled from one sun to the next before, it's always been a physical thing, and there's always been like a sensation of travelling like through the membrane between the suns, very much like the stargates when you've got that kind of rippling effect. Caliban's bike ride was a little bit different because that was the nature of the bike ride at the time. But you still felt it when you went to the blue because you felt it just before you fell asleep and before you met the warden. This time, obviously, because the incantation has propelled you there in a slightly different way, it feels different. And you, I don't want to say wake up, but you kind of crossfade from one scene to the next and are revealed in the blue, which is, there's very little physical realm to it. It is a world completely of like imagination and thought and dreams, and locations aren't fixed. So you're kind of floating, stroke swimming. You're suspended by something, but you don't know what. You can feel something around you, and it's your whole bodies have got that numbness from like pins and
You
needles.
slept with your arm.
Yeah, your whole body's got that feeling to it, and you can feel that you're there, but at the same time it's got that almost other realmness. Have you ever had a real bad fever and then still gone out and done stuff, and then the day or so after you think, did I actually do that? Or did I dream that? Like, you know that bakery by Thomas's Old School on South Street up in Stoke Damrell?
Yeah.
By the primary school. When I used to live on Valletort Road, just up from the Mill Bridge, the one weekend I had a real bad fever, and I remember, and I went to, there used to be a fishmonger's in Stoke, and I went there and I bought some stuff, and I
had a fever. I wouldn't buy
went
fish.
to the I think it was like a dehydration fever rather than a temperature fever, and I went to that baker's, and for ages I dreamt about it because I couldn't remember actually having gone there.
Wow.
But I had, which is why when Thomas went to that school, it was like, oh, this is real.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean with that.
I went for about 15 years thinking I'd made up the song "Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now." I thought I'd imagined
Moon.
it.
I genuinely thought Button Moon was something I'd made up because I could never found anything with it. And then I found a poster when I was at uni of it. I was just like, the real was real.
The theme music of which was sung by Peter and Sandra Davidson, the Fifth Doctor. And
I love Button Moon. Who would want to go to the moon? Big Bean Ted.
I'd prefer something NASA approved, possibly.
I did when I was little.
but you kind of cross-cut and you're in front of what you can kind of tell is Agamemnon Butler's house, but it's a large and exceptionally complicated cobweb.
Cobweb. Is this a Thomas's person?
Mm-hmm. Illuminated Fong.
Yeah, that one. I know in your dream, you know something is something, even if it doesn't look like the thing.
Yeah.
So we know this is his house, even if it doesn't look like a house.
Yeah.
So I know that particular thread of the web is in fact the doorbell.
Yeah.
Ring me the doorbell.
So the door kind of opens, and there is, if I said, an animatronic kind of puppet, you know, J.F. Sebastian's puppets from Blade Runner.
Where's the X card?
What is this?
Oh, it's in the other room, sorry.
Yes, I do. I'm quite creeped out.
No, it won't. I brought them in here.
He's so happy.
I should make some new ones.
Is he still having sun baths?
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, we
I did bring them in here, but I did not recall where they are.
That's right.
joking on anything like that. We'll give it to him.
I'm okay.
That's just-
Good choice of thing, because it's properly creepy. It's not the one with like the hat and the epaulettes and the big nose that looks rather phallic, is
It
it?
is now.
Okay.
Do you have an invitation?
Do we have the feather come with us still.
Yes.
I had it.
Yeah, but we have gone to street.
Yeah, but we still got it.
Let's just show him that.
I
Come right on in. And he kind of turns around and then very officially marches off. If you've not seen Blade Runner, if you just imagine a
I've
slightly,
seen Blade Runner, but I can't remember that.
a slightly updated one of the Munchkins.
David's like, no.
All of a sudden now, I'm just trying to think.
The yellow brick road just leads to a Tannhauser gate.
The Wizard of Blade Runner. It is plainly, of course it is. The witches are replicants. That's how they've got all those funky fan-dabby-dozy powers. Replicants. Young girl enters a new kingdom and kills the first person she sees. Teams up with some strangers to kill again.
Ultimate chick flick. Two women fighting over shoes. And so this thing kind of leads you through and says, "Please, can you wait in here? Tea will be along shortly. I will tell the master that you are here."
Not Scottish
Thanks.
yet.
Thanks, Minnie Crichton.
yeah, I know what I was thinking. He now looks like Robert Lyon.
Engaging the smug mode.
So the interior of the house, now you've gone into it, if I said it was kind of American colonial style,
Oh yes, totally.
so it's big, quite high ceilings,
Like Cape Cod.
and so there's like a long table, and on the table there's a silver tea set, and then there's like a kettle that's steaming, and then there's a couple of different pots of different types of tea, and then a small jar of honey, and then some sugar, and then there's
Is anyone else alarmed that we've entered into a web and we've just been led into a parlour?
No.
into my partner said the spiders to the fly. I don't know what that's from, but
It's a nursery rhyme, I think.
Mhm.
Can't remember which one.
and then about sort of 5 minutes later,
Hawk's fidgety. She's a bit nervous.
there's so the door opens again, and there's a large, the Nutcracker, the soldiers from the Nutcracker suite. Another large one of these kind of walked in. An awful lot less. It's made of wood, but it's a lot less wooden in its mannerisms and its motion.
It's
Kind
a
of
real boy.
walks in, and it looks, and then its head kind of turns in a very deliberate manner, and then it looks at Stowbold, and its head turns in a very deliberate manner, and it looks at Hawk. Well, I was not aware that I had any visitors or appointments today. And yet my servant says that you have an appointment to see me.
Yeah. Nothing specific was booked. We just inquired about you and was offered the vellum invitation and came straight
Oh.
here.
Might I see these invitations that you have? Oh, I recognise this. As soon as he takes it, I recognise this. You have my condolences for meeting with that monkey. And when I say monkey, I mean monkey as a derogatory term, and not monkey as in the fact that he is actually a monkey.
He's
For a small fee, I can edit the memory of him out of your heads completely.
he's too good to be true, I think. It's one of those things you kind of have to keep.
Oh. have found in my profession that there are many memories that people thought they had to keep until the price was right.
Those are because I think that was being weird.
Carry on.
Now the question remains, as you are, I am guessing, aware, I am Agamemnon Butler, and which one of you would have to come here to engage with my services?
I am. I'll just introduce himself. I do the whole formal thing. One heal out, tap my throat 3 times. Roll under shame. Long days and pleasant nights. We've come because my colleague here, gesture,
And I Adrian talk.
seems to have some gaps in her memory that she would like filled.
And fill in the background because I.
When you say filled, do you mean me just putting some random things in, or do you mean restoring what was there originally? You have to be specific when it comes to memories.
Restoring what was there originally.
Ah.
There seems to be that my mind has been messed with a lot. And having gone into shadow, come back out, various things, I go to places and it's there but it's not. And
You get the feelings of deja vu over breakfast at least 6 times, yes?
more than 6. So,
Oh, fantastic. And he's just about no, he's not going to fall into lapse into Edna mode. Oh, the raven.
Dirty quaff.
Never mind. Passive aggressive raven. The raven is the House of Secrets.
oh. Not magic at all.
You could not.
Having a little nap.
Have a pancake. The raven has both positive and negative connotations. Most commonly, it indicates that someone is watching, jealous, usually someone unexpected. It's also a warning to beware of greed and trickery. On the positive side, however, it advises vigilance or suggests there's a trick involved in what one must do to succeed. Either means there's a problem that can be overcome. Well, my price is somewhat higher than usual. I have just recently taken on this new form, and I'm still getting used to it. So you will possibly be my first client. Usually, my fee is a year of someone's memories. What do you propose that you can offer me in recompense for filling in all of these gaps that you appear to have, Miss Hawk?
The year of someone's memories, does that person keep them or do you just get to take a copy of them?
It depends on how juicy the memories are.
I think I'm happy for whatever gets returned to my. It's whatever it is. It was enough for somebody to cover up and remove out of my mind.
And you are possibly suggesting that I could keep a copy of the memories that I restore to your brain. Is that correct? Yes. Fantastic. And this kind of big wooden doll's head kind of looks round to Stowbold. And I can possibly get us a pair of your companions later as well.
That's their decision, not
Let's start the book.
As these things must be. Well, as they say, there is no time like the present. Would you like to start straight away?
Yep.
Okay. Would your companions care to come along, or would you prefer this to be a bit more intimate?
I do not mind.
And you don't know how, but this pretty much this doll has just got a mouth that goes like that, and when it says the word intimate, it leers. It's got no other. The rest of it's just carved wooden face.
You're welcome
Let's go
to join.
Okay, please follow me. And it kind of turns round, and it does that thing where the body turns round like 180 degrees, and then the legs turn round, and then the head turns round, and then it walks off in the other direction. I would say Vox is fake, but people have made that joke too many times. And it looks, and it kind of just goes out to that room, and then across the large hallway that's got the kind of very dramatic double Addams Family style staircase, and then it walks across to the other side, and then there is a study which, if you imagine the kind of quintessential stereotypical Sigmund Freud style psychoanalyst study, so there's a big leather couch with an armchair, and then a desk with a window behind it, and then like rows of books on either side. But where the rows of books would be, there are a load of like little crystal bottles with like little glowing, flickering sort of lights inside them.
Pensives.
No, not pensives, because I don't want to be linked at all to J.K. Rowling.
Object that fulfills similar
Roll.
The pensive was just a bowl in theory anyway, but these are just kind of like bottles.
I bring up the incident with having my memories restored with the Thar that took those things, just in case that may cause any hiccups. Because we had to use that head bowl thing. Helmet.
You have used one of Zanivup's stone helmets. Has he ironed out the fact that it causes headaches for 2 to 3 days afterwards?
I would
don't
say
think
no.
so. No, it didn't.
Okay. I have worked with him on many occasions for that device. Something in the quality of the stone that he is using, he would not spring for the better quality stone. And look at the
Sounds like
results that he has
Zanivuk.
from this.
Yep, that sounds like Zanivuk.
Maybe I can have a word with him if I return to the Integral at some point. Please, you take a sit down, and your friends could take a seat just here. And then as he points, just kind of like the memory of 2 comfortable chairs just
High back
appears.
beans.
Yeah. Study chairs.
Totally sounds like my dentist waiting room when I was younger. Like the rest of just like a regular building, but the waiting room sounds exactly like this. It was really
And then
weird.
a table kind of remembers itself. And then there's a big pot of coffee and probably a small espresso cup and a little fairly large mug, or dented tin mug. Very Roman style.
I sit down throwing out my kind of like duster in a fancy dustery kind of way. Sit down, cross my legs, and not massively overtly, but also not particularly subtly either. One of the pistols is kind of out and just on my lap.
Please, would you take a seat? You are,
Sits
no,
down.
I would have to ask Mistress Hawk, you're not at all squeamish, are you?
Not particularly, no.
Oh, okay. And then the front of this thing opens up.
Okay.
Like, and it kind of unfolds in strips. Like, you know the model head that Arnie wears in Total Recall? The front of it opens like that.
Oh, okay.
And inside is a large wooden puppet. So a puppet inside a puppet of a spider.
Okay, now she freaks out because she doesn't do spiders. But
Yeah, but this one's like a puppet of a spider, so it's adorable.
It's like Lucas.
so basically, is it Lucas
It's
the
Lucas
spider?
the spider.
If it's Lucas the spider, then
Okay.
okay.
And this puppet of the spider kind of like
Okay.
scuttles down.
Can't physically watch you do that.
scuttles down.
There's the next card.
Yeah,
Then
Kelly really can't deal
I
with
really
with
can't
the
do hand speed.
Okay.
Okay,
Hand
so
spiders.
I won't do hand spiders.
Yeah.
But then the puppet of the spider kind of
Walks out.
scuttles down the front of it, and then up the chair leg, and then up across your body, and then it kind of rests on your chest.
Okay.
And then you see that there is a spider about that big, controlling the puppet of the spider,
Oh, okay, that was
It's
a good-
spiders all the way down.
and this thing is the one
Where?
that scuttles onto your face.
She's like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do
Hold
this. I have to
still.
do this.
He says,
What, the spider or the...
"Yeah, the spider."
So that is Agamemnon, the tiny spider.
German spider.
And where's Astraeus in all of this?
And it bites your eye.
Huh?
And it bites your eye.
Oh. I've watched something that happened on recently.
No, I really mean this. I don't want any more of that next. Yeah. Can I get nightmares?
Okay.
And that's where I'm going to leave it.
Oh. I did enjoy that. One out of the three of us enjoyed that.
If I get nightmares in that, I'm waking you up. Say
Get my little penny on ready.
Don't worry, it's like that thing where they say that, you know, every year you eat 8 spiders in your sleep. That's a myth. That doesn't happen.
It's 12.
It's not. It's just 8 spiders come and rub their spider wheelies on your face.
I don't have the problem with the spiders. It's biting eyeballs that I'm.
No, I know what you mean. We saw or read something this week about somebody being bit in the eye by something.
So I want to know.
I've watched a lot of stuff.
Right, so
It
who
was
is positive?
it was Dracula.
It
It was Dracula. That's what it was.
Which was
So-
disappointing.
The BBC
The new one.
Dracula.
Yeah, that one that we like.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed like the first half hour, 40 minutes of the first episode. I thought this is really good. It's eerie and it's creepy and all that sort of stuff. And then as the episode went on, it just got
A bit boring.
Did
Well-
you watch 2 and 3?
no. I've only watched the first one. I was just disappointed because the Dracula at the beginning is kind of like proper kind of creepy, and by the end of it, he's just a wide
too
boy.
slummy.
No, Johnny, nah, mate, nah. God bless you, nah.
Mary Poppins.
It was almost like that.
So,
You must watch it all the way through and
yeah.
then tell me
Oh,
what you
your
like.
name's Van Helsing, as if I hadn't figured that out an hour and a half ago.
Roland,
Yes,
how's this session been for you?
joy. I very much enjoyed meeting the monkey.
What a euphemism is that?
That's not a euphemism. You and Ross have been the only euphemistic people.
It's just if he gets into too
Hi.
much trouble and you have to spank him.
My name's Kelly. Have you
I've been
met me?
I've been slightly sensible and grown up today.
That always leave it to me to take the control voltage pitch input and apply a negative 5 volt thing
It's like
just to lower the tone.
I'm just a social hand grenade. Usually, it's kind of like, what's the level of this room? I'm gonna make a nosedive.
Hey, my name's Kelly.
So, Kim is on for that one.
Mm,
Okay. Do you think any progress on your arcs?
no. Well, no. That one's done. I'm doing good. Might need to start coming up with some other arcs.
And Hawk.
I liked being the monkey was fun.
Shark the monkey.
Hey,
So I'd say joyful for the moment
Okay.
because you know the spider thing
You
isn't.
got bit in the
Is
eyeball by
yeah,
a
but
spider.
it's a necessary evil.
A spider that was driving a puppet spider that was driving a puppet nutcracker man.
Turn out that Agamemnon's not his real name. It's Pete Spiderman.
You get kicked in the shin later, it's your fault. Just saying.
And slightly along my arc, but not really, because
Slightly haunted.
Slightly hot.
slight monsterism.
Pleasing aftertaste. Slight monsterism.
Sweet. And for Snowball.
I don't really think I got a joy or despair out of that. It's just. Do we have to pick one? Okay.
It was just.
Well, actually, no, let's go for the joy because it's kind of a hopeful thing for Eliana as well.
Okay.
happy with that. Right, thank you very much, folks.
Thank you.
Well, at least we know his price now.
Yeah. But if she's only been here 6 months, I'm not sure.
It doesn't have to be. He said it could be anybody's memories. It wasn't necessarily
So
the person who was.
I could maybe give up my memories or something.
Well, I was thinking if you take fake memories, I just write him a story